This week, around the British Columbia Football Conference.
This week, we review the 2011 Langley Rams. Success would be a word to describe the first ever season for the Rams organization in the city of Langley. After 60-plus years of playing in Surrey or South Surrey, the Rams would make an announcement of their relocation last November to the city of Langley, a city junior football had never been in. Rams president Gord Queren cites the stadium as one of the biggest factors in the move. The South Surrey Athletic Park had a terrific surface to play on. However, the stadium did not house one seat or chair for fans. The Rams faithful would be required to sit on a hillside and be asked to bring their own blankets or lawn chairs to take in a game. As the team and conference grow, Queren and the entire organization realized to attract a greater fan base, the fans would need a place to sit. Enter the city of Langley and beautiful McLeod Stadium, a turf surface that is conducive to the speed game that the Rams like to play, featuring the explosive Nick Downey. Following the announcement of the move, the Rams would announce a new head coach, as Jeff Alamahota moves from his defensive coordinator role with the Chilliwack Huskers to become the new man in Langley. Alamahota was a natural choice for the Rams. As a Langley native, he would play his minor football in the city, attending Langley's senior secondary. On the field, the Rams would struggle out of the gate this season, losing their first 3 games, including 2 in their brand new home. Following a nail-biter with the Okanagan Sun in Week 3, the Rams would go on a tear after the 1-point loss, winning their next 4 games by an average of 26.5 points. Then after 2 straight losses in Week 8 and 9, the Rams would record their 5th win of the season in Week 10 with a convincing 42-14 win in West Shore. The victory would clinch 3rd place in the conference and a playoff date in Kelowna with the Sun. After their 31-29 semifinal win, the Rams season would come to an abrupt end a week later, getting shut out in Nanaimo by the Raiders in the Cullen Cup final. The Rams would be the 4th team in BCFC history to start 0-3 and still make the playoffs. The last team to do so was the 1993 Victoria Payless, who started 0-4. Coming off a productive season in 2010, quarterback Nate White was named the starter. But after 2 ineffective games, White was placed on the bench in Week 3 in favor of Brandon Lay, who showed great confidence in his first start, losing to the Sun 15-14. He would then settle down and rattle off 4 straight wins. However, in Week 8, after showing some signs of struggle, Alamahota made a move to bring in John Roney, who was the projected starter at the beginning of the year, but suffered an injury in main camp and was sidelined. Roney would make his first start in Nanaimo in Week 9 of the season and would throw 163 yards and 2 touchdowns against the stingiest defense in the Canadian Junior Football League. That game would set him up with the confidence for a Week 10 showdown with the Rebels. The Rams would need to win by more than 7 points to clinch 3rd place. Roney did that and then some, throwing 251 yards and a major as the Rams beat the Rebels by 28 points. Roney was just one of the leaders for the Rams this past season, as third-year player Nick Downey was once again the brightest star. He would lead the entire BCFC with 15 touchdowns. He would make 28 catches for 812 yards, but it was special teams where Downey makes his mark. He would establish a new Canadian Junior Football League record for most kickoff returns for touchdowns in a season with 3. He also established a new BCFC career record for kickoff returns for touchdowns with 4. Downey would also establish a new BCFC record for kickoff return average in a season with 37.3 yards and set a new BCFC career kickoff return average of 29.3 yards. He would be named the BCFC's Outstanding Special Teams Player of the Year for the 3rd straight season. On the ground, Kyle Albertini would lead the Rams. He carried 66 times for 348 yards, while Malcolm Freeman ran 35 times for 198 yards. When Downey wasn't catching the ball, Daniel English was making a name for himself with 22 receptions for 371 yards and 3 TDs. Perhaps his biggest touchdown catch came in the semifinal, as he hauled in a pass to put the Rams ahead for good and punched their ticket to the conference final. Another nice addition this past year for the Rams was their kicking game, as Nick Naylor was good on 11 field goals and was named a conference all-star. Defensively, the Rams were solid with a plus 14 in the takeaway giveaway category, anchored by the conference's most outstanding linebacker. Eri Nakagawa would lead the club with 37 tackles, 3 sacks, and an interception. 2 Rams defensive backs, Jordan Linnon and Nick Felicella, would receive conference all-star selections. Linnon made 16 tackles and had 2 picks, while Felicella had 18 tackles, a sack, and 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. Defensive lineman Scott Puffer also received an all-star nod from the BCFC. During the offseason, the Rams are hoping to return their core group of players for the 2012 season, which would make them very dangerous at McLeod Stadium. With this look at the 2011 Langley Rams, I'm Ryan Waters.